What's up everyone, welcome back to another video after a week of silence. Today we are once again going to be playing the ESL Open Cup, the $400 tournament stacked with pro gamers. Last week we did cheese only, today I'm going to be trying to win with only Mech. Let's begin. Now, our first opponent of the day is going to be a mid-master Zerg player called Rare. Don't think I've played against him before, so I'm not sure what to expect. Now, before I get into explaining you guys where I've been for a week, I just want to explain what I mean with Mech only exactly, because I'm gonna play Mech in the pro gamer definition, which sometimes seems to differ a little bit from what other players seem to think. So, and this is also actually a lesson, by the way, for a lot of people that try to play Mech. If you play Mech, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to make bio units, right? If you play a normal Mech build, you are allowed to make Marines. And very often when I see people that are maybe like around Diamond level play Mech, it seems like they just refuse to make Marines and they open with like a Hellion tank, but those builds are always inefficient. So what a pro gamer means when he's playing Mech is he's not limited in what units he can make whatsoever, but the optimal opening is always to open with Marines, open with a Reaper, Scout, etc, and then you get into the Mech build, right? If you play TVT, for example, a bio and a Mech build actually look identical. So if you open with Mech and you notice that you're playing way different than someone playing bio at the start, you're probably already doing it wrong. There are some exceptions to this, like there are some people that like to open Mech field Cyclones and go into Mech. That stuff still works. But for the most part, if you play Mech, you do still open with Marines, because Mech doesn't have any units that are good against small units, like for example a few Zealots or something attacking you early, or 10 Lynx, right? Well, actually against Lynx you can make Hellions, right? But you guys know what I mean. So for this build, or for this series, I'm not gonna force myself to not make any barracks units. I'm just gonna play normal, but I will be going into Mech every single game. Now, just to explain you guys why I was gone for a week, I mean, I made a few posts. First of all, thank you guys so much for all the kind words and stuff, wishing for me to recover. You probably can tell in my voice that I'm not 100% recovered yet. It's been a long time that I've been sick. I think my doctor also got it wrong when it came to diagnosing me, because my doctor told me I just had a cold. Now, I've been sick for about 10 days, so, you know, it's safe to say that it is not just a normal cold, but I got a bunch of medicine, and I'm slowly starting to feel better finally since the last 3 days, so that is very nice. And as you guys can imagine, as, you know, maybe a little bit of a workaholic, it was pretty tough to just sit at home and relax and do nothing for about 10 days, so I'm pretty happy to at least try to record a video again, and hopefully the quality ends up coming out well enough. Now, I can still hear myself extremely nasally, so I hope I sound a bit better to you guys than I do to myself, but we'll see. Now, I actually peeked at my bracket a little bit. My first opponent is the Master Zerg. If I win this, we're already going to be running into a relatively high GM Terran, and if we would win that match, we would play against Cure, a GSL champion. I think, was that last year or was that this year? I think it was last year, right? So yeah, bracket very exciting. Just to remind you guys how we're going to do this, if I advance far enough, I'm going to cut it into parts so I don't end up uploading 2-hour videos, but instead you guys get them, well, not piecemeal, because my videos are long anyway, but you get them, you know, in about 30 to 40 minute episodes. Now, since my opponent is a Master Zerg here, I don't want to take a crazy risk. I think I'm just going to go for a double gas, get into battle cruisers and stuff, and then try to play Mech from there. Now, typically against Zerg, you want to go for a 30cc super fast, but I'm going to play a little bit safer here. Gotta get some good scouting done. No Roach Warren to be seen yet. I do have to say, by the way, even though being sick, I did not really consider it a break, I do feel, how do I say this, maybe like creatively refreshed by not having recorded for about 10 days. So I guess that is nice. I think my mood is alright. If I can recover even further the next few days, then it's gonna be awesome. Now, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm actually planning to start recording some more videos on Twitch before posting them here. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to go over to my Twitch link in the description and follow. I don't quite have a super strict streaming schedule yet, but usually these days I've been streaming, I want to say, between about 4 and 8 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, Mexico City time, or what else? Maybe like Texas time, I think is the same. So somewhere around there, if you're interested, just make sure to follow the stream. You'll get notifications anyway, I believe. Maybe you have to turn those on, I'm not sure. But when I actually get a more solid schedule, I'll be sure to let you guys know as well, so you don't have to, you know, rely on notifications or anything like that to know when I'm actually live. Now my opponent, I actually thought he was taking the back base, but he's also taking the front base now. His little Zerglings probably should be scouting the main here. Let's see. How do I want to manage this? I do have to admit, during me being sick, I barely played any StarCraft, so I'm also gonna be a little bit rusty, I think. Hopefully we can shake off the rust, you know, throughout this episode, so I don't lose too early. That would be nice. So far, I was always able to upload at least, I want to say, an hour of content from this. So, you know, hopefully we can keep that the same. Now, mech games do usually take a little bit longer, right? So, wait. Okay, ESL. For a second, I thought he hosted a weird version of the map, but no, it's actually ESL. Go for the double factory here. And you see, I actually opened it mostly mech here because it's TVZ. And in TVZ, you always want to make Hellions. So now I'm going to add my factories, then I'm going to add my armories, and then I will be a fully fledged mech player. Now, one mistake that my opponent has actually made is send too many overlords. I think I saw 2 overlords on my side, which is a nice snack. But I've only managed to find 1, which is... Okay, there's the other one. Oh, he got speed too. That is even more surprising. He got speed even though he already saw everything I was doing, I believe. I mean, nice for us. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a sneaky move here. Normally, if you play battlecruisers, you teleport them like into the mineral line. But here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sandwich his queens at the front with my BC. There we go. So you see he only has 4 queens because he split the rest. And now I can let my BC do all the tanking and just roast them with my Hellions. You see the BC is going to take damage, but it's not even going to get close to dying here. Only thing I need to be careful for is the Spore. But at this point I'm already going to kill a bunch of drones and it's worth it. I'm even going to tank the Spore a little bit so my Hellions just get to do free damage, which is awesome. Oh, I did forget my armories for a bit though. It's a little bit of a mistake. Let's get tanks up. Now, it's been a while since I played like a very solid mech game against Zerg. It is always pretty tight. Like here I forgot my tanks for a little bit, so I know if I didn't do damage here, I might struggle to defend, for example, a Roach Corruptor timing attack. So, you know, this attack went very well for us, so we're going to be in a good position. But for the next games, I'm going to have to do a little bit better than this. Now, my second BC is already done. And this is probably going to be too much damage for a Zerg player over here. Now, this YOLOing this BC, not sure if that's the smartest, because if he had a Spire done and Corruptors would finish, these BCs would just be forfeit. But yeah, I do know that I killed this Spore Crawler, so I feel pretty safe. A little bit missaturating my bases here, but those are... Oh, actually, he freaking surrounded me with Spore Crawlers. No way. Okay, oh, it's still gonna live. Please, Queen, no. Okay, well, how much HP is that? 4 HP on the Battlecruiser. Let's freaking go. Okay. Well, I'm actually well done by him. I didn't think he was gonna be able to do anything against those BCs, but... yeah, maybe a little bit sloppy by me, but... mistakes are there to be made, I suppose. So let's repair this bad boy back up. And he's spending so much money on Spores right now. I think I might actually have some kind of 6 siege tank attack that I can do. Attacking with Mech early on is actually very risky. Usually you don't want to do it because Mech really wants to be... Like, you want to have the ultimate army composition to attack with Mech. Now, I haven't seen a Spire. If there's no Spire here, I can actually just teleport my next BCs in and kill him. But there really should be a Spire. Is there a base here? There is a base here, but also no Spire. Okay, that is interesting. I think I'm probably just going to go for the attack here. I mean, if he has no anti-air, I might as well attack him at the front with everything. Defend him with my battlecruisers. And that should be all she wrote for him. We're going to take my 4th base. Oh, nice. Does he have any upgrades? There's also no upgrades. I'm a little bit puzzled as to what he was going for this game. I see he has a Bailing Nest, so that's good. But besides that... Wait, was that a Reaper that was still alive? No freaking way. How did that survive for that long? And here we go. This should be the push of death. GG, well played. I was about to launch some mules actually to repair this battlecruiser. But yeah, this was a very solid game. 1200 units, resources lost against 5700. Very happy with this one. Good warm-up game. Let's move on to game number 2. Alright, Tropical Sacrifice for map number 2. Now, this game, I'm actually going to try something new. Not sure if you guys have watched... Actually, what tournament was that? I think it was the Africa TV Champions Cup where I saw this. It was Maru against Dark. Obviously, if you don't know who Maru is... Best Terran in the world, no contest at this point. And he played a really cool mech style against Dark, who is one of the best Zergs in the world. There's a lot of those, so it's kind of hard to put him on number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, because they're all pretty freaking amazing. But he's one of them anyway. And he played Speed Banshee into mech. Now this is a style that... I think the last time it was popular was quite literally like 6 or 7 years ago, or maybe even more. So it is really sick to see someone like Maru bring it back. Because personally, as an ex-pro gamer, I used to have this rule. If Maru does a build, you can copy it without any doubts. Like, you know, every pro gamer makes mistakes. Maru also makes mistakes. But Maru's builds are always so crisp that I would always copy them without even doubting him. And I would just assume they were perfect. Because when I checked, they always were. So if Maru brings something like that to the table, it definitely means there's some potential to it. Because Maru does not do bad builds. He does do weird ones, but he always has them figured out. So I really wanted to try that. I also think I might do an analysis on that game later on my channel, if you guys are excited for that. If you want to learn from the best Terran in the world with my commentary, then, you know, that is something you can be excited for. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on quickly, by the way, is because I've been sick for a long time. I was doing 2 videos a day, but I was sick for a long time. I have my birthday coming up as well. And besides that, I also have a 5-day trip to Atlanta planned in, I think that's in about 10 days from now, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So it is very unlikely I will be putting out 2 videos a day. I will definitely be trying to get my 1 video a day back on the road. But, you know, the second video a day probably is going to have to wait until late November, early December, I want to say. I know a lot of you were enjoying the double video content, but that is going to be on hold for now. Sadly, I got sick at a pretty rough timing when things were about to get busy, but I guess that is just life sometimes. Now, last game, I think if I try to make sense of the last game, he feels like a very standard player who forgot his Spire. I think either that, or he got caught off guard by the BC so hard that he just thought it wasn't worthy to still make a Spire and just decided to make like a ton of spores and stuff instead. But yeah, he does seem like a very standard player. Obviously, I'm still going to be scouting for any kind of attack. But I am going to be trying that different style of mech this game. It's not necessarily the speed banshees that make it different. I'm also going to be trying to play Cyclone Hellion instead of tanks, which is a little bit risky. It's usually considered to not be as good. And the biggest reason for that, if you guys are wondering, you've probably seen my Cyclone Widowmine styles, right? The biggest reason for that is that Cyclones don't have the best stats. So if you use it the way it's intended to, where you can lock onto a target and run away, get free efficiency, it's amazing. But most of the time what happens is they realize you're playing Cyclones, they make a really big army and they A-move you, they pin you against the wall, and then there's no space to kite, and then you're gonna have to fight head-on with a unit that doesn't have great stats. Very little HP, very little armor, and then you just get shut down. But if you play this style and you manage to get map control, then you can actually just get insane trades all the time and it will look amazing. So this style is definitely the style where it's fragile, but it has extreme potential. It's like a very glass cannon style. Not sure if that's like a... Do people actually use that term in RTSs? I'm not sure. Maybe I picked it up from listening to my friends talk about MOBA or something. I'm not sure. But it does make sense anyway, if you guys know what it is. So I'm going to go for Banshees here. I think it probably would have been better to do this for my 3cc build, but like I mentioned in the first game, I do want to be safe. I do not want to be dropping games this early in the tournament, of course, so there we go. Now actually, I'm just going to make use of my supply block to make my build a little bit better. So instead of making those Hellions, I'm going to be making a 3rd instead. And obviously, this is an easy way to adapt your build once you make a mistake. I mean, I could just have my Hellions producing without them actually building. Or I could just make this CC a little bit faster, right? So this way, it's not even that big of a deal that I got supply block. It's not like I necessarily needed those 5th and 6th Hellions super fast. Now, it does have Zergling speed. I actually do not want to lose this Reaper. This Reaper has to go into the main base. Now, if there's one build you don't have to scout that much with, it's probably 2-base Banshee. It's very safe against roaches, very good against, yeah, any kind of weird all-in, really baning all-in. As you can see, he made a lot of Zerglings, does not have gases. He made a Spine. I'm not quite sure what the Spine is for. I don't know what I did that made him build a Spine Crawler, but I'll take it. But anyway, it seems like we have actually gotten a small advantage from that. And that sounds really weird to say, but he made a Spine Crawler and he made way more links than he needed. So he's down in drones compared to where he should be. I guess we're just in a decent spot here, which is nice. Where did I send my Banshee? Oh, I just didn't send it out. Okay, fair enough. Now, I can actually use a little bit of a trick here. Normally with Banshees, you go for the mineral line. But sometimes you can actually go for the Queens instead, because they'll have spores in every mineral line, but not at the front where the Queens are. I'm gonna see if I can actually abuse that mechanic. Let's get Banshee speed up and running. And then normally I get 2 armories. Right now I'm just gonna get 1. And the reason for that is that Cyclones do actually not benefit from attack upgrades because they do spell damage. So all I really want to get is armor. Now let's see if my strategy is gonna work here. So what I want to do is I want to just camp this middle area where there's no spores, like this. And then if he wants to defend with his queens, he's gonna lose them for free to the banshees. There you go. Yeah, it's working very well already. Gonna get probably a few queens for free here. I actually have enough Hellions for this. This is probably gonna be an alright trade. And it seems like with this move, we may have actually checkmated him already. Because you see now, he's gonna go there. But I just parked the banshees in between. So he needs to take damage from the banshees to help the rest of his units. And we're just killing absolutely everything here. Now, spines did not die to Hellions, so I'm a little bit scared to fight the spine crawler. But I can stay on the bottom of this mineral line for sure. You see how much free damage they are doing. Already 13 kills on those banshees. Absolutely incredible, yeah, stats for a banshee really. Banshees don't usually kill that much unless there's no detection. So now he has detection, but does he have enough to clean this up? I'm not sure. 3 banshees obviously do a lot of DPS. I'm also gonna play a little bit less economic than I usually would. I think I can kill this actually. There we go, 1 spore down. Actually, my bad. Wait. Oh, I didn't realize that. Dude, I thought he had 2 spines. But he actually used the spine from the natural to go to the 3rd base. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, at this point, he has a few too many queens, so I'm going to back off here. And what I meant by saying I'm going to play less economical is just that I'm going to play 5 factory before 4th base. Because I really want to put on the pressure and get my Cyclone trades going. Rather than saving for a big mech army. Let's get Blue Flame. I think I can quickly repair all of these units. Oh, that's actually... I tried to click the mule away, but instead I only clicked the mule to repair my units. That's unfortunate. Now, my Banshee speed is done, so the moment I... Wait, do I not have money? Why are these guys not repairing? Huh? Now I'm actually confused. Did I... Oh, I thought I put them on auto repair, but I guess I didn't. So I was like, wait, they stop repairing if I don't have money, but why the hell were they not repairing there? I guess I misclicked there. Or maybe I played a little bit too fast for myself. Thought I did things that I didn't do yet. Let's get those extra add-ons. I don't think I should be going in here, actually. Here we go. Mag field is finished. Just gonna snipe 2 drones and get out of there. Now, at this point, I have... Oh, dude, for a second I thought this was a Mutalisk. I was like, oh no. I mean, Cyclones are decent against Mutas, but not that great if you're unprepared, so that was a little bit scary. Now, I guess I'm just gonna split off my units here. I'm gonna use my Banshee squad to... Look how fast they are, by the way. It's incredible. They also get like this little fire after them. You see that? It's like a little thing that you might not notice, but it does indicate that they do have hyperflight rotors. I'm gonna use my Banshees to either do free damage or draw the queens away. And then my other squad to just get free trades over and over. He does not have roaches yet, so I'm gonna have a very good time trading against those. So he does have the Spire here. Let's see. I can actually... I'm not sure how many Mutas are going to finish here. I have 6 Cyclones, which probably beat about 7 Mutalisks. It's not the most one-sided trade ever. Yeah, I think he doesn't have enough Mutas, actually. Or at least not yet. Here we go. Yeah, he keeps flying in Mutas 1 by 1, pretty much. I did lose 1 Cyclone, but I killed like 6 Mutas for it already. Now I killed the Spire. Might as well try and get the spawning pool already. And that's gonna be it. 2-0 with 2 different mech styles. I mean, it was a 4-7 Zurich. Decent challenge, but not good enough. A really good warm-up. And I think our next opponent is gonna be Juggernaut Jason. Someone we've played against before in one of these. I'm not sure what I did back then. I think we did the greediest build ever against Jason. That's right. Now this time, let's try to get him with Mech. Juggernaut Jason, about 1,000 MMR jump from series number 1. I think he's about 5,700 usually. First opponent was about 4,700, so definitely a big upgrade in difficulty. Now, TVT is actually my preferred matchup for Mech. Usually I don't play that much Mech in TVZ, and especially not TVP anymore, but TVT, I've definitely played my fair share of Mech. Now, the thing is, if you guys have watched my previous games with Jason, he is definitely very fond of long games and mech games as well. So we're gonna have to see if it's the same here. Now, what's funny here is that normally when I play mech and I play against someone like Jason, I would love to open greedy because I feel like he doesn't really play that aggressive usually, and playing greedy into mech I actually prefer it a lot because I kind of want to get my double armor up fast. If I don't get my double armor up, my game plan is usually to hit with like 2/2s. If my armory is late, I kind of get stuck a little bit. But I did play him before in an ESL Cup. And what I did back then was play the greediest builds ever. So if he was ever going to cheese the crap out of me, it is probably going to be this time. So we'll see. Now I'm going to do a scout though. I'm definitely not going to be doing any greediest build ever shenanigans. So I think I should be able to defend any proxies still. But it could always be scary. If you are not 100% sure how to deal with proxies, I would not recommend that you play Reaper Expand like I'm gonna do now. I'm pretty confident I can stop any proxy with it, but it's definitely a lot harder than when you're playing Double Gas Expand. So, taking a little bit of a risk here, but I think we should be fine. And to be fair, I don't actually think he's gonna cheese me. Maybe that's a bit overconfident because he has cheesed me before, but you know, sometimes you go by your instinct and I don't actually think we're being cheesed, but let's see the moment of truth. Barracks at home. Does not actually have... Okay, so there's a double gas, there's the factory, and no depot there, okay. I was actually expecting there to be a depot. I might want to stick around a little bit. Did he make an orbital? He did make an orbital, okay. There's actually one mind game that I haven't really seen it done. I think I might have been the only one to actually try this, but there's one sick mind game where you basically make everything look like a double gas, but then you skip the orbital to proxy another barracks and you attack with, yeah, you know, 1,000,000 Reaper Hellion instead of just 500,000 Reaper Hellion. And it hits really, really hard. Now, he made an orbital, so I don't think he actually had the money for it. What I do think is that he's going to put on some pressure. Hopefully not with his first Reaper. If he waits for like a second Reaper and a Hellion to come out, we're going to be totally fine. I'm actually trying to scout for a Reaper here. Sometimes they do rush across and they use an SCV. I did see an SCV leave his base, that's why I'm a little bit suspicious. Oops. Should have switched those a little bit earlier. I think I was like 2 seconds late on that or so. I wanted to make this starport first, but then I got stuck at 96 gas. That was a little bit unfortunate. Now, how exactly do I want to do this? I think most commonly people play 6 Hellions these days with this. 6 Hellion, 2 Raven, something like that. I used to always play 4 Hellion, but maybe I should just try the 6 Hellion version, because why not? Now, my idea for this series is also to play a few different styles of mech. I think that would be really fun. But in TVT, it kind of depends on your opponent what styles you can play. For example, if you're playing against someone who doesn't make air control and makes medevacs, you can do a really cool move, one of my favorite moves with mech. And that is, instead of making your own Vikings, you can make Hellbats and put them in your medevacs and drop them on the bio. And it works super well, because the only way a bio player can beat a mech army is to get on top of the tanks. But if you're dropping Hellbats in the middle of his path, you don't just get massive splash on the bio, you also stop the bio from reaching your siege tank. So it's actually a very, very cool move. But I do know Jason likes to play late games with a bunch of Vikings, so I think we're probably not going to get to that point in this game, but we'll see. Now, I think I'm going to take a very fast third base here. The map is definitely suited for that. I'm surprised we haven't been attacked yet, like at all. I don't think we've seen any unit on our side of the map, which is kind of crazy. And it does actually scare me a little bit too. Am I the one that should be attacking now, or like what are we, you know, what are we doing here? I'm going to make a very greedy third base. Alright, it's not that greedy, but I could definitely be playing a little bit safer here. I'm just going to move out with this for now. I'm pretty sure we're just going to find a siege tank here, to be honest. But let's see with our own eyes. So there's a bunch of Reaper Hellion. Let's see if I can one-shot anything. Yeah, that's a mule and a few SCVs. That's another SCV. Probably has a Cyclone up there. I'll get that Reaper. I feel like... Oh, I really want to get that Reaper. There we go. Get the other Reaper, maybe? Let me get that Reaper too, why not? I mean, it's just Hellions. They're very expendable, to be honest. I think they did their job pretty well. I'm actually going to go for a third Raven to feel a little bit safer. Yeah, definitely mismicroed a little bit there. I told you guys I was going to be a little bit rusty, but I don't think it was bad at all. I think if you factor in the SCVs that we killed, it was about even. Wait, that was sick. You can see that. The Cyclone locked onto my Hellion, but not a single shot fired. I didn't even know that was possible, actually. I feel like if it locked, because it actually locked on, you would imagine that it at least shoots once, but it didn't even shoot a single time there. That is, I mean, I like it. That is, I didn't know you could do that actually, so that's pretty cool. I got my third Raven up almost, let's see. Okay, I'm actually gonna just get by this. Let's see if I can find anything. He also made an extra Raven, I think, there. I don't think he would still be making Ravens if that wasn't the case. So I'm gonna put this here. And then I'm gonna go for a fast second factory. Get a lot of siege tanks out. Hope my SCVs stop derping. I killed... Oh, that was a Reaper. Okay, fair enough. Now, I would say economically we're ahead. Supply-wise, we're probably down a bit. If he weren't down his supply, he's definitely doing something wrong, I think. Though I guess I did kill a few SCVs, so maybe... But I didn't make any Marines. Normally what inflates your supply in TVT is just the amount of Marines you make early on. Marines in TVT, not the best unit ever. You need them, but they are quite expendable because tanks just absolutely disintegrate them in this matchup. So slightly different dynamic than in other matchups. Here you can actually skip a bunch of Marines. So the fact that my supply is less is going to be fine unless he catches me off guard. Let's see what he's up to. He's actually going to play Bio here. Okay, so we have a Bio against Mech game. That is nice. I probably should have checked if he was attacking. Oh, he is actually attacking me. Okay. Then we'll have to use some good... Oh, that's 3 siege tanks, I believe. Else it wouldn't have died that fast. Let's see. Oh, he's actually going to go for his. I mean, my units are doing absolutely amazing here. Those are not shooting anything, I believe, so that's totally fine. Let's just repair this Raven. I'm actually going to take these off momentarily. I mean, I'm going to be able to crush him in a second, I believe. If he doesn't leave, so not to worry. Well, actually, I shouldn't be too confident because my army count is obviously very low, right? Because I don't have Marines. Let's see. I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, he's actually running. Then I'm gonna chase him. Let's freaking go. I have the Cyclone, by the way, so the Cyclone is always gonna be able to kill tanks for free. Here we go. He's trying to target it. He can even drop a few turrets here because I have more Raven energy than him. There we go. Get 3 Marines and the tank. I'm gonna chase him all the way back to his base. And this is where the 3 Ravens really come in handy. I don't want to overdo it. Let's see. Can I keep pressuring here? Like, I need to keep in mind, I'm actually not doing anything to be able to attack. Like, I'm playing a macro build. This is not a build I'm supposed to attack with at all. So, I'm not being the wisest player here, that is for sure. Yeah, what really sucks is that I don't have a scan. I have 3 CCs, but I don't have a scan. So, I just can't get vision. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to make a move, but yeah, I need to be a little bit smart at least. Give the good example to you guys, you know. I mean, I have enough matrices for all of his siege tanks, so if I really wanted to, I could. Oh, the Cyclone's popping off though. Alright, let's back off. I feel like I'm being a little bit too silly by staying around. I'm gonna show you guys what my typical plan is for a mech game. Now, my opponent's clearly planning on playing passive. I mean, he has been playing passive for most of the game, besides that one attack, despite me having a more economic opener. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to... I'm gonna say 10 to 12 siege tanks. That is the perfect number. And then I'm gonna make Thors. And I'm gonna try to hit a super strong timing attack. Now, I definitely used... I didn't really trade enough units, so I would say my supply is probably going to be maxed before I have 2-2. Which is a little bit unfortunate. Normally you want to be maxed right around the time you get 2-2. But at the same time, I don't want to take absolutely crazy trades, right? So, and I bet... Oh, he's making medevacs. Ooh. Is he actually going to move out then? Okay, I didn't expect it from him. I'm kind of playing the player here. I didn't even have an engineering bay because I didn't think I would need it. But he's making medevacs, so he actually might want to move out here. Okay, we're gonna play a different game than I expected. Maybe not the super long campy games. I can't even make a planetary here, actually. I should have gotten the eBay anyway. I forgot about that for a second. Now, this map has really sneaky drop spots, by the way. He could totally just go in between or behind my natural over here, and I won't be able to reach it. Actually, a really good drop spot on this map. I'm getting some turrets up. Start with this area and slowly expand them to everywhere. Let's see... Don't really see any medevacs around. It's always a bit scary to be moving your Vikings. Okay, so it's gonna kill these units. Yeah, those units actually don't really do anything, so I don't mind at all. And now I'm gonna stop making siege tanks so I can add a few Thors. And what the Thors are gonna do is those Thors are basically gonna swing the air control battle in my favor. And what the bio player is gonna do in response is make Liberators to control the Thors. But I noticed that Thors usually trade a little bit better until they get like 10 plus libs. So I feel like I should have the upper hand for a little bit. I'm definitely a little bit late on my 4th and 5th factory though, like my production is not looking too hot. And actually I'm gonna max around 200 supplies, so that's really not that bad. Let's see. I would guess, yeah, he has more factories. Okay, that is a good approach by him. Going for more factories is actually one of those styles that can negate the advantage from the Thors, because tanks are obviously really, really good against Thors. Because it's like an armored unit, right? Oh, I mean, I'll take this fight any day though, it's fine with me. Just get some easy unit trades here. There we go. I'm just gonna try to get my Raven. He did kill 2 of my Ravens, but I feel like Ravens probably not... you know, they're good, but with the style I'm going for, they're not necessary. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna play a very aggressive style of mech. Which probably sounds weird, but that is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just try to run around this army. I'm also gonna transition into Cyclones. This is a move that I have experimented with a lot over the years. Basically the way it works is at some point they transition to a mass air army. Like he's basically playing mech at this point. You transition to a mass air army, and then I'm gonna use mass Cyclones to just outrun him and win the game like that, basically. That's a little bit annoying because he's playing super, super passive, and I'm not gonna be able to find an entrance here. Anti-armor missile actually does not matter in Viking against Viking, so doesn't, you know, I don't have to be careful of being hit or anything like that. Now, he does still have some bio units. I kind of expected him to have 0 at this point, but he does still have a few. There we go. I'm just gonna back off. I need to make so many CCs so I can keep scanning. You can tell I'm spamming CCs like crazy at the moment. Oh no, this is actually a decent siege position here, I want to say. That doesn't look half bad. My Thors are not in the best location here, though. My Thors are actually not really getting to contribute that much. Okay, yeah, you see? Ooh, that is a rough position for the Thors. Those Thors should have been my saviors. I actually did kill all of his ground army, though, so I think... I didn't even notice that, by the way, but we obliterated all of his siege tanks, so now I can pretty much just move forward. So he's gonna kill that base on top. You know, sucks, but it's really no big deal, to be honest. And now I'm not sure how he's gonna stop the Thors anymore, because he lost all of his siege tanks, seemingly for free. Really not quite sure what happened there for him, but... I don't have a scan again. I'm really not sure, man. Give me some scans. I want 1 million bases. Please. At least 1. No, I actually just don't have any scans. Guess I'll just try to siege this location here. My upgrades are so good, by the way. Okay, he's gonna go for the big land. This could work out for him. We'll see. Could also be terrible. We'll see how it goes. Doesn't look too great for him yet, actually. Yeah, okay. Not quite it. Wait, that last Viking did seem to kill 3 of my siege tanks, but there we go. And yeah, I feel like this game probably shouldn't have ended here. We traded... I mean, I did my game plan, I pushed, and it worked. You know, my opponent made the mistake. I guess... I feel like I didn't do anything special, but I'll take it, right? But anyway, we traded 8k resources efficient. And let me show you guys why I actually won the game. Because from my POV, you might not actually have realized. So, check this out. Here, terrible positioning by me. Thors are up here in the back, are not even firing, so really poorly done. But look how far forward he moved those tanks. He seized 8 siege tanks in range of all my tanks. I think he gets 1 volley off, or maybe 2, and all of his tanks are dead. And if the tanks are dead, my entire ground army can just unsiege, walk forward. If you look here, his army is 4 tanks, 20 marines, basically, against 14 tanks and 2 Thors. Doesn't really match up. And obviously, my mech upgrades are going to be way better, right? I have 2-2, he has +1. So this was the game-losing mistake by him. So far, or up until this point, he was doing everything right. They said everything to be a long game, but instead he made a mistake, and we get a relatively fast win for our long TVT. Let's move on to game number 2. Inside and Out, game number 2. I would love to play another mech style. I'm trying to think of what mech style is both different and fun, but still good at the same time, right? Because there are some builds that you can do where you get like 2 factory and mech field very fast, but I'm not sure if it's very efficient here. And it also depends on the style of player. I feel like the mech field speed banshee styles, they are mostly good against people that move out because it creates chaos. You can get in there in the back and then it works. But against someone like this who, for the most part in the macro games, is going to stay back at home, I'm not sure if it's good enough to play like that. So I might still try it though. We'll just see what my brain and my hands end up doing. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. We're going to play mech anyway. That's what I can guarantee you guys. Now if we win this game, guys, we're going to be going up against Cure. who, if you guys didn't know, is one of my biggest nemesis of all time. When I was still actively pro gaming, I thought he was probably the hardest player in the world to beat. For some reason, he was even harder than like Zero and stuff. So I have beaten him before with Mech though. So maybe there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel there. That's definitely going to be an absolute banger. Now, let's focus on this game. I'm going to go for a double gas here because I think it fits a little bit better if I want to do a different kind of build. I feel like if I play Reaper Expand, I'm always going to end up doing the kind of strategy that I did the last game where you have to play passive because I have a few amount of units, or a little amount of units, not sure how to say that. And, you know, you can't really push out and stuff like that. But if I play double gas, there's a little bit more versatility. I have a lot of units early on. I can pressure, I can push and stuff like that. So creates a different dynamic. Now, there's no barracks here, guys. Are we being cheesed by the one and only Jason? It does certainly appear like we're being cheesed. All right. Now, I actually have a great idea. I think I want to proxy a starport like right outside his base. I would imagine this is most likely just a regular proxy Reaper. And I'm going to respond by doing a really fast 1-1-1 counter. I'm going to pull a few SCVs here. I'm not quite sure where the Reapers are coming. On this map, it's actually a little bit tough. I'm not quite sure where the Reapers are coming from. I'll just keep all of them over here. Okay, so there's one Reaper there. I guess he built it in my natural then, seems like. Okay. There was only one Reaper though. I mean, we could always be getting mind game and stuff. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna keep microing this. Should it be a problem, to be honest. And then get the starport up here real fast. Actually, oh nice, that's a free Reaper. That's fantastic. Gonna throw a grenade. And I'm even gonna kill that Reaper actually. Oh no, wait, right, I forgot his barracks were up there. I thought I was gonna kill it for free. But instead, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But so far, this is already an amazing trade for us actually. If you do a proxy Reaper, you really want to keep the momentum and go for a lot of kills right away. The fact that he wasn't able to do that is already gonna put us ahead. Now the thing that could pull us back behind is actually this proxy starport over here. Because, you know, I'm on one base. This is not the most economic way to do it, so this could actually backfire a little bit. Like, if I played economic after that opener, it would have been fine no matter what. Okay, we got one Reaper. Might have been... Yeah, we got another one. Okay, this is a fantastic start right now. And the more Reapers he makes, the better it is for me, because then I know he's not actually transitioning yet to... getting, you know, cyclones and stuff. He's actually gonna lose so many units here. And now after this, we killed so many, I think I'll be able to transition myself in peace. Oh, he actually wants to lose that Reaper. I mean, sure, I was leaving it alone, but if he wants to lose it, I'll let him. Oh, he's actually playing 3 racks Reaper here, it looks like. Here we go, get that one. Or 4? 4 racks Reaper? Okay, I mean, I guess I'm transitioning anyway. This Liberator's probably gonna end the game, by the way. If 4 racks Reaper, yeah, I mean, he's not gonna have a single unit at home. This is gonna be very sad for him against this Liberator, guys. Watch it. He might even GG as he sees it, to be honest, because it's just like absolutely nothing he can do against it. He does have a few units here. I think there's about 5 Reapers on the map, or 6, I would say. Oh, there's one misrallied Reaper. That is fantastic. And there we go. GG has been called. The Liberator did it. You know, didn't really get to play mech this game, but honestly, TVT early game is pretty mechy anyway, right? Like, I made mass Hellions. I won the game with a Liberator. And like I said, even when you play mech, you open normally. And that's going to be it against Jason. One round 1 against Rare 2-0. One round 2 against Jason 2-0. And the next round is going to be against Cure, GSL champion. But that is going to be for part 2, so you'll have to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute banger of a match, I guarantee. You don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. And yeah, thank you so much for watching my first video back. Of course, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios.